there? Seemed like all three phases were pretty good.
You know, I'd probably say yes. Okay, would have liked to finish some of those drives with touchdowns, and then it'd be a for sure yes. But there was some of those drives I just felt if we could have put them away earlier. But defense was sound for most of the day. Special teams was great, and offense was moving the ball up and down the field. And we're to that next step now. That now if we can finish those drives with 7 points, we can start to do some things.
I think you might have heard me ask about the number of plays in the game that in those three losses, the three straight losses, the opponents were running 70, 80 plays. And today that was you, and they only had 50-something plays. How important was that, or those two numbers, to being able to do what you did today?
Well, those numbers are huge because, you know, when you look at our defense, most special teams players are defensive players. So when you're running 80 plays on defense and then another 30 on special teams, you can see the wear and tear. And early in the game, there were some of those drives that we actually felt that we needed more time defensively to get them rested, or we wouldn't have looked like we did in the fourth quarter. We can be a strong fourth quarter football team with those kind of numbers because you got a fresh defense.
Coach, after the first quarter, really your defense really tightened up, especially against the run. Was there any changes there? Or any...
There really no changes. Probably just got used to the tempo a little bit. You know, they hit it. After we saw what their plan was, you know, those first few series, everybody comes out with a script and you try to figure out what their plan is. And I think we figured it out fairly quickly what their thought was to move the football. So as soon as we identified that to the players, you know, what the expectation was and where we felt they were moving the ball to, that we had a better chance to stop it. So there was a little bit of a tweak to fix some things, but ultimately it was the players just getting off blocks and making tackles.
As well as the defense played, how big were the 2 punts by Sam in the fourth quarter?
Huge. Absolutely huge. I mean, I was very pleased with how our running backs ran. They put their head down and ran. I was very pleased with how our defense played, but the player of the game was Sam Cooter. I mean, those 2 punts, you know, really took them out of many plays they could call, being that they started on the 1 yard line. So that took a lot of time off the clock, and at the same time, you know, it actually sealed the game through the punting game.
What do you take to the players now? Like, what from this game specifically do you use to teach going forward, or are there many things?
There's 100 things to teach off this, and here's where we're at right now. We were better than we were last week. We gradually got better, and that was my hope. And so now they see production, they see movement in the right direction, they see breaks going our direction, and when you sense that, you can take your game to another level. Penalties is still something we have to shore up. I wasn't pleased with that because I think we self-inflicted some wounds that way. But I felt that our run game is solid, our passing game improved today, and I felt our there's no question our special teams improved today. And that's kind of was the focus. We wanted to improve our passing game and our special teams, and the special teams shine. But I still like what we did with the passing game.
Speaking of that, Aaron had a heck of a game. Do you think that's his best in a UNI uniform?
Oh, for sure. Hopefully we'll see a lot better. I think everybody knows his talent. The receivers understand, you know, where they need to go when things break down. And he's a good passer. Everybody thinks that earlier on, I don't know, I've heard that people thought he wasn't a good passer. He's a good passer, okay? If he's got time and the receivers will get to where they belong, he's a good passer. And he proved that today. Now we just have to do a little bit better job in protection. You know, our offensive line improved, but they gave up a couple sacks today. I wish they wouldn't have, but that's growth. I mean, you're going to go forward, and now we got another film to watch and another week to get ready and get better.
Coach, you mentioned the run game. Was it in the run game? Aaron certainly got his yards today, maybe a little bit less than previous, but was it almost refreshing to see 2 running backs there listed amongst your top 3 rushers on the day?
No question. We rushed for 207 yards. Is that correct, what I see here? Something like that?
163. Yeah.
Minus the sacks, yeah. So what I look at is this, okay? We came into the game that you saw we moved Darian. We got everybody on the field. I just thought Savon from the beginning, and Tyvis, Savon, and Darian were 3 quality players. So we had to find a way to get those on the field. Michael Malloy has came a long ways. So now we got 4. And so now we have done some things to allow all of them to be on the field. and keeping them fresh makes them better at the end. So you saw Savon make some great runs, Tyvus made some great runs, Malloy, and then Miller made some great plays on the outside. So I just felt the use of our personnel is more effective right now than maybe what we were at the beginning of the season.
Miller must have been banged up the last couple of weeks, right? So it was nice to see him back because he gives you that different element on the outside.
There's no question. He can make a move in space, and you can play some defenses if you can make that tackle. And that tackle where he did the spin, turn, and go, that's a one-on-one space tackle, and it's all or nothing, and he made the move. And if you can do that, then you have to start defending it a little bit differently. So he gave us a very good athlete on the outside, but more importantly, we got everybody invested. That group of players, they're 4 tailbacks. We only play with one of them. We got to find a way to use them all, and I think that's what the offense did a great job on is personnel management.
Any more questions for Coach?
Thanks.